Come on. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation.
Yeah,
But baby, listen, I'm just saying.
it would be just like Europe saying, all right, England doesn't have daylight.
Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it. Boosie, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be alive, I say I did it. That shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you could play it. Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see your swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready, you know the mission. I had to know you, I'm tempted. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me, I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my playaways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and then I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you could play it. Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me.
All right. Make sure. Yeah, okay, cool. Audio's good. What's up, everybody? Thank you for hanging out, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo. I am with a fantastic retro gamer today. Goes by the name of Game Mistress. How are you doing this? What is it? Evening for you now, right? I'm guessing, yeah, like 9 o'clock at night, I believe it is for you right now. So that's why I'm meeting you up so early. It's 2 o'clock my time, 9 p.m. your time, but it's always time for gaming, right?
Yes, correct. Thank you so much for having me, and hello. How are you doing today? And it's great to be on the show.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. I actually just recently woke up from a short nap because my daughter stayed home from school. The lady's home. We're just kind of like, we're all together, but we're all exhausted. So like we all like
Wow.
we all like woke up, had breakfast together, and then all passed back out. So it's like a Saturday kind of vibe here today,
Yeah,
or
I
like
get
Sunday.
you.
But what's up, chat? Thanks for coming out. Stank Ma, good to see you. Mr. Joanna Dark, Matt Likes Games, good to see you guys. I'm gonna kick this off as I usually do. Game Mistress, let everybody know where you like to game, even though I know it's on a lot of stuff that a lot of people can't play multiplayer on and stuff like that. And then also let people know what social media places that you're at so they can either like check out your content, follow you on like a Twitter or Instagram or whatever you kind of do, or watch you. Go ahead.
Right. So I'm mostly a retro gamer when it comes to content creation. So I play on all the old Nintendos, PlayStation, Segas, Commodore, Amiga, Atari, you name it. I also play on modern consoles and PCs like the PlayStation 4, the Xbox, etc. I keep losing count on the Xboxes. And you can find me on Twitter. I'm mostly active there. You can find me on YouTube. Same channel name as my username, Game Mistress. And I stream only mostly retro on Twitch under Game Mistress. And if you like golf pictures, you can find me on Instagram and Coffee, which is basically like Patreon, but only they use coffee instead.
I got you. And tell them a little bit about the cause behind some of your behind your streams and whatnot, just to kind of get that out there.
So, right, I do more than just retro streaming. I also donate 20% of my entire revenue that I earn with Game Mistress to animal shelters around the world to help animals that have been abused, neglected, etc. And I'm also a mental health advocate, and we do a lot of charity for mental health, for animals like World Wildlife Fund, and for kids who have suffered an illness or disease that doesn't make them that they can't game, but thanks to like special effects, we make special equipment that they can play games.
So almost like what is it called? Accessibility options.
Yes.
Like you help out with accessibility for people.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So let's get into some of these questions now. What are you playing right now? Every time I hop into your stream, you're on a new game, doing something else. I remember,
Yeah.
I think one of the first times I checked you out, I believe you were like playing, it wasn't Rayman. I want to say it was, it was Bomberman.
Correct, Bomberman 64. So, yesterday I played this fantastic buggy mess for PAL, which is called Rygar on the NES. Today I was playing Tetris Attack, and on Monday I'll be playing... And I forgot the game. Oh yeah, Pilot Wings. Here we go. I'm going to be playing Pilot Wings on Monday, and in my free time I'm working through Hollow Knight, the perfect ending at the moment.
Okay, I mean that's a lot of different stuff. I know the way that I found you was, I swear, it was like every other day on Twitter. I'd just be scrolling through my feed and I'd see just you holding a game, being like, "This is what I'm playing today."
Yeah.
And like each time I'd scroll and see that, I'd be like, "Man, that's an old ass game." And then the next day I'd scroll down and be like, "It's another old ass game." And then you're like taking pictures in front of like this massive collection. Like it seems like you have like a whole wall just dedicated to just old games.
I probably have more like 3 or 4 walls, but some of my stuff is packed down and hiding beneath the bed because this apartment doesn't have enough space for all my consoles and games. I even have a wall for modern games, like all the PlayStation 4 stuff. Sorry, I don't have a PlayStation 5. Don't hate on me. It's just too expensive, and I don't want a dust collector. And the Switch games, so they're like, maybe I can hide them behind the retro stuff. Oh dear. Okay, people, move out. I need the bed space for my games. I'm just kidding.
No, but seriously, like you have to have like, what would you say, like maybe thousands?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, it's insane.
We're talking about 30 plus different consoles and computers, and of course I have a huge Steam library and Epic Games, etc. with modern games, but luckily that's just digital stuff.
Gotcha. Wow. Do you do any emulation from like instead of having the actual hardware? Because I know you're kind of big on that, and on your shows you like to have like the kind of like the video capture of the console in real time going on. Do you ever do just emulation from computer because you can't have something, or do you just say, "Hey, if I don't got it, I ain't playing it"?
So regarding my niche, no, my niche is hardcore into original hardware. But yes, I have played with emulation in private. I have tested around to see if the game is something for me. I used to use emulation before. I even used the mini consoles because I didn't have the way to capture the original hardware. But nowadays it's just original hardware.
Nice.
And
Very
I also
nice.
use emulation for ROM hacks and stuff because they don't always come out on the cartridges, and I don't have an EverDrive, sadly, because they're freaking expensive here.
Yeah, I happen to have an EverDrive, and I got really lucky. A
Oh,
buddy
nice.
a buddy was just like, "Hey, man, you want a bunch of games?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I have the Sega Genesis CD 32X,
Oh,
Tower of
nice.
Power thing going on, and
Ah, awesome! The Tower of Power. You're so lucky.
yeah, so yeah, got lucky and got all that stuff put together, and he is like, here's the finishing touches to that, and he gave me an EverDrive, and I was like, oh my god, like now I don't need
I'm
anything.
so jealous. I'm looking for the 32X, and cats don't eat my microphone, please. And the 32X is like $400 here, complete in box.
Oh
It's
my
not 100%
god.
it will work. Yeah. That's the last part I need for my flat Tower of Power because it's a Mega Drive 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the original Mega Drive 1 CD the Mega Drive CD 1.
Yeah,
One
that
goes like
one's
for $800 they wanted here for.
yeah, and good luck with the motor on that thing, because those
That,
things go out a lot. I mean, if you can fix that kind of stuff, more power to you. But I mean, from what I hear, the Gen 2 for the Sega CD is a lot more
yeah.
like will last you longer, just because it's it's the top pops on that instead of it being
Yeah.
a retractable drive.
Funny you should mention fixing stuff. I actually do fix my own retro stuff. I can't solder
Wow.
yet because of my limited space, but I've taken the NES apart. I've taken some other machines apart. The Dreamcast, I've repaired the laser system and the power supply unit on the damn thing just by taking apart, giving a good cleanup, tightening screws, and back on again.
So you are just a badass when it comes to the retro game, and you just handle your shit, and you're good to
If it
go.
doesn't work, I'm going to throw an axe at it, so it better work.
I got you. So when you got into this Discord, I asked you, yo, the same kind of question I ask every single person that's on the show. I'm like, hey, like, what was the first console that you had access with? You said that your sister had the NES, right?
Correct.
And you said you ended up with, what was it, the Mega Drive, right?
Correct, which is also known as the Genesis in States.
Right. So I want you to kind of just tell me a little bit about that experience. Which one were you kind of more into as you kind of got a little bit older? Were you did you stick around for the Sega a little bit more, or was it more the Nintendo? Because I know you're kind of all over the place now. You don't really give a damn.
So when I was 2 years old, my mother saw me looking at the Nintendo and she said, "Do you want to play?" I said, "Yes." I was only 2, still my nappies, and she put on Metro. Like, gaming is fun, but I was so bad at it, so she gave me some cheats. I could like cheat Metroid very easily with the bikini suit or something. And then when I was a bit older, my father bought me my own Sega Genesis for Christmas. We also had an Atari 2600, but I don't know when we got that. And for the Genesis, I loved Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, he was my idol. I had all the Sonic games. And then I stuck with Sega, but because my sister was Nintendo and I was Sega, we grew up with both. Like when the Nintendo 64 came out, we bought that machine, but even though we had the N64, I would switch between the two all the time. So I wasn't really in the console wars. I would play anything that was given to me because I knew games were expensive. And me and my friends would share our consoles, like my friend had a PlayStation 1, but my absolute favorite was the Genesis because of my love for Sonic, of the amazing music, the platforming games. They were just phenomenal.
So you were a Sega person for the like at the end of the day when they say, "Hey, what you want to play?" You were like,
Sega.
Yeah, Sega. It is what it is."
I mean, I have 4 Dreamcasts now.
Oh my goodness, that was a flex that you didn't need to do, but it's
Don't
totally
ask me
worth
about
it.
how many Saturns I have.
Oh Lord, no, I gotta know now. You gotta tell me.
So we had first the MK1 and the MK2.
Mm.
It was me and my bestie, we collect everything. And then my MK1 died, and then I got another MK1 sent me. So I think we got 3 or 4 Sega Saturns now, because they're not as easy to fix as the Dreamcast. I used some spare parts. We got like, I think 2-3 working Sega Saturns at the moment, because sometimes I'm streaming on a Saturn, my friend's like, hey, but I want to play Command and Conquer. Okay, we have 2 Saturns running at the same time in the house. No problem.
Yeah, one of the people in my chat said, 4? Damn.
Okay, I'll tell you why we have a 4th one. I was on the auction, and somebody was selling me a complete unboxed Sega Dreamcast, mint condition, with the modem, with the keyboard and the mouse, extra memory cards and stuff, and I sniped it for $80.
Wow.
Like, and that's going to be my museum piece, because I always wanted a Dreamcast complete and boxed. So I'm like, okay, I'm not touching this one. This is my true fame Dreamcast.
$80? All of that?
Yeah.
What year was it?
2 weeks ago.
Oh my god. Like, that's a fantastic price.
You know, when you were on my stream yesterday, you saw a big box on the couch? That was the Dreamcast, and all the goodies, complete in box. I mean, the manual hasn't even been opened yet.
Man, I'm pretty jealous of that, Grab. That you ain't lying when you said sniped.
And that's going to be my next YouTube video. We're actually working on the unboxing video as we speak, because I did an unboxing where I'm showing everything off, telling a bit about it. So it's going to be there soon.
Well, congratulations on that, Grab. That's fantastic. Seriously.
Thank you. And my tip is, search the auction late at your time, at your area, because people tend to put up the stuff and go to bed and start sniping. And people will not put these things like on the Sega Dreamcast. They're going to maybe call like old console or Sega white machine, something that's not typical, where it's a bit hidden. That's how I find the stuff. I put the filter on games, I go for thousands of pages, and I start sniping.
Damn, you ain't playing. She ain't playing around at all. I love it. I love it. You are a dead serious gamer. That's awesome. So moving on from the original NES and Mega Drive, Genesis, or whatever, what was the next thing that you had kind of growing up? What was
the Nintendo 64.
Go ahead. 64,
Nintendo
okay.
64. Oh yeah, I got that for Christmas. I was shocked because at the time I lived in Germany, it was for sale for 500 D-Mark, which is really expensive. And my parents saved up for 2 years because they knew in the magazines it was coming. And the first game was Mario 64.
Mario 64
I didn't understand 3D. I'm like, I'm used to 2D. What's 3D? I didn't know you could go up like, oh my goodness, I'm getting killed left and right. This is awesome. That was my first experience. It was really nice.
Yeah,
and then later came...
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No? Okay, and then later came Ocarina of Time. I'm like, oh, my sister loves Zelda. She got me into Zelda. I'm like, this game is freaking amazing. And it scares the crap out of me because of those horrible, like, you know, the well demon. That scared the living shit out of me. And those hands that would grab you from the ceiling and those mummified, the re-dead. I hated them. They would cause me to shit my pants almost as a kid.
Some of those games were extra weird, especially with only I mean, because you remember, because I was young back then as well. You go from only a D-pad, right, to, you know, getting like a 64 where you have that stick just in the center. Oh my
god, that stick is annoying.
And then some games you have to either use the R. The L and R, I believe there was no L and R on there. It was just
there was.
It was.
Yeah, you had left and right shoulder buttons.
Yeah. So you had the shoulder buttons, and on some games you would use that to look around. Yeah. You had to use those, and same with the Z button. Is sometimes you had to hold that thing and like use the stick to look around. It was before we had a second analog stick, and it was just awful on some games. Especially there are some Dreamcast games like Sonic Adventure specifically where you're using the triggers to look around, and it's just so frustrating, especially now that I'm used to 3D games. Like, it just drives me nuts to not have a second
And
analog
the
stick in
camera
certain
is
games.
so bad. It will go behind a wall or behind your butt crack or something like, now I see Mario's ass. Wonderful. Great, I died because of the camera. and that annoying thumbstick, if you play Mario Party, the thumbstick is dead. You can basically throw the controller away. I had to put the thumbstick a bit down, put the controller in, so you have like a bit of the sliding thing going on. That's how I played on the N64. My controller broke down. I played Shadow Man like that from beginning to end. It was because those consoles were expensive. The controllers weren't cheap. I hate that thumbstick.
Yeah, it's passion right there with that. That's pretty good. Okay, so you went through the N64. Did you continue with Nintendo, or did you start branching out to other consoles after that? Because now you're starting to get older and everything.
So, I always wanted the Sega Dreamcast, but it was never for sale in Norway because I saw Sonic Adventure. I'm like, oh, maybe it's on a Nintendo 64. And the shop's like, we never heard of this game because Norway didn't get the deal. Because I moved to Norway, we did not get the Sega Dreamcast. Heartbroken me. My sister phones up. Tracer, come quick. My husband has to show you something. I walk into the house, and there it was, a Sega Dreamcast connected to the CRT TV ready for me to play on because he used to work for Funcom on Conan and all those kind of games, so he got one for free from his boss, and he gave it to me. I was so happy. So that was my baby growing up, and then when the Dreamcast died because the hardware was not very trustworthy, I got a Nintendo GameCube. Because after Sega went away, I stuck with Nintendo, and I used to borrow my sister's PlayStation 2 sometimes.
Okay, so you were really looking for that, but you didn't get what you wanted, is what you're trying to say?
No, we got what we wanted, but it wasn't accessible in my country. So in the end, my mom felt sad the Dreamcast died, and I got the GameCube. She bought me, for my birthday, the Xbox Crystal Edition. She says,
Wow.
Here you go. I know. She says, I'm sorry about Sega dying, because she knows I was crying about it. She said, I hope this Xbox can cheer you up. I still have it. I think you can actually see it in the shelf behind me.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. I can see your is that, yeah, that's a 64 there as well.
Amiga 32, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Master System, Mega CD, American SNES, Famicom.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's is that PlayStation Sideways, that original PlayStation?
Yes, because I didn't have space. I got it's modded, it can handle it. I'm like, I have no space for you. You can just stand like the PlayStation 2.
I think that's what you said. It can handle it. It's fine.
People are gonna yell at me console abuse now, but yeah, it's standing sideways, but it's also modded PlayStation 1. It's region free and it can play CDR. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, that's pretty badass though, right there. I like that. You can play CDRs with it. That's a big deal.
Yep. It has a new laser put in, so the laser can actually handle it better than the original. Because the original laser broke down. I was playing Crash Bandicoot. Oh, purple colors! Oh dear, those purple colors are following me. Oh shit, the game crashed. I think my laser's dead.
It's just a domino effect of bad stuff, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is different. Oh, it's just broke. Got it. That's
as you can hear, I played every console that was available. I wasn't like, even though I was a Sega lover, I would not trash the other systems. I would still play them because of the games.
Okay. Now, as growing up, were you so open and loving with everything, or was there any point where you were like, I don't know, when I was a kid growing up, I was all Sega, even though, of course, I would play anything available because I was, a gamer. But at the end of the day, everybody likes their home team, or everybody likes something more than something else. Was there any point throughout you growing up, not saying right now, just growing up, where you felt like a little bit more fanish for something as a teenager, not so much as a little kid, because we already went through that part, and you said that you were riding for Sega, but when did you start becoming a little bit more vocal with what you kind of enjoy?
Oh my god, when Sega died and I got the Xbox, I went pure Nintendo. I wanted everything Nintendo. Because I love Zelda, I love Metroid. I'm like, and you had these people saying, the graphics are shit. I'm like, I don't care, the games are better. You got DLC crap, I got my Zelda, so you shut up.
Damn, that was ferocious.
Yes. I mean, I had all the Nintendo games. I had all the first-party titles. I mean, you had the Mario. I'm not a big fan of Mario, even though I played Mario. I was more like into Metroid, like Metroid Prime, 1, 2, and 3. I had all the Zelda games. So yeah, I was really hardcore into Nintendo.
Okay.
I mean, Nintendo also got Sonic, so I was happy.
Yeah, that is true. Because you back in the day, you would have never thought. You would have never thought because they were just because that was like their tool against Nintendo before was Sonic.
And I broke a holy code. I actually put a Sonic sticker on my GameCube because I'm like, this is my new Sega console, the GameCube. And people are like, that's
You
Nintendo. So no,
sick bastard.
I know, I'm going to hell for this.
All right, well, now I want to know, like, at what point did you consider yourself a retro gamer? So, like, at what point were you like, I'm kind of tired of keeping up with the new stuff? What generation was it when you were like, I'm more into this older stuff?
I'll tell you a secret. My retro consoles, my original Mega Drive and Nintendo 64 went always with me. They went to every country I moved, so I never gave up on them. But it was maybe 5-6 years ago. I'm like, I'm sick and tired of this modern shit. The PlayStation 4 takes me hours to install a game. I'm getting my retro stuff out, and I started buying loads in about 3-4 years ago. Because I was done. So then I started collecting series like, okay, which games did I play on the Wii U Virtual Console I wanted real because the emulation's not that great. So about 3-4 years ago, I really went hardcore back into the past. But I was always into retro, even though I grew up with the modern stuff. It just broke out 3-4 years ago.
Okay, so yeah. So 3 or 4 years ago is when you actually were like, all right, I'm kind of done trying to follow this trail. I'm gonna create my own now. So with that being said, what got you into content creating with these games? Because now you gotta get all this equipment, get all this stuff set up. You got cameras for this, that, and a third, and capture cards and whatnot. What made you go down that road?
So what made me start becoming a content creator made me become a retro streamer?
Both.
So 4 years ago, I almost died of an autoimmune disease I have. I was in hospital for 4 days in intensive care. I came out, I was completely destroyed, and I already had Game Mistress, but that company was laid on ice. And my husband saw I lost the spark. He says, okay, how can we get her interested in life again? He said, why don't you start streaming your games on Twitch? Like, why? Fuck no, I don't want to go on Twitch. It's okay, we can play Minecraft together. I said, well, what am I going to call myself? I'll call yourself Game Mistress, resurrect your YouTube channel, go back on Twitch. So it was, he kicked my ass. I'm like, okay, so I started playing Minecraft and so on, and marbles. I'm like, these games are boring. I tried playing some first-party PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch games. I'm like, and then I used to have Retro Fridays on Twitch. I'm like, I am having the most fun when I'm streaming retro. So 2 years ago, hardcore, I said, I'm going to only play retro games on original hardware. I'm done with the minis. I'm done with the emulation. We're going down that route. And what broke me was Soul Reaver on the Dreamcast. That was my first proper retro game I played from beginning to end on Twitch.
Soul Reaver. Did you recently play that game, or is that just something that? Okay, I was gonna say because I've seen that on your on your Twitch page, and I was like, oh my god, that game was so freaking good back in the day. But man, when the glass shattered, it was just like it brought me back, but at the same time, it was like, man, that is old. But going through the walls and stuff like that, I thought that was really cool back in the day. Really innovative, but a great game and pretty tough too at the same time.
Yeah,
Pretty dang
I mean,
tough.
there was no hand-holding as such. The game was said, okay, you can do this, but figure shit out yourself. And I like Soul Reaver. I mean, it's a very dark, miserable story, but it's way cooler than Tomb Raider.
But anyways, what's up, chat? What's up, Doc Dark 1985 Gaming Forte? Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in and checking out the show. We are talking with Game Mistress this evening. For her, it's not so much of an evening here in America quite yet. It's more like afternoon. But anyways, so with you being into now retro streaming and stuff like that, you said that, man, I mean, that was a pretty powerful story you had right there. You came at the brink of, you know, passing away, and then that got you really big into enjoying this, but you were pretty standoffish with it at first.
Yeah. I used to do YouTube videos. That's why I started, and I stopped because we moved. We had dial-up internet, and like you can't do anything with that.
No, not at all.
And after my time in hospital, we got we call it glass fever in Norwegian. We got fiber or the super fast internet into the house, and then there you go. I started out. I saw that I had the most fun streaming my retro games, and I saw that I could also do good with the stream, like donate to animal shelters around the world. So I just stuck with it. So now I just do things I love.
That's what you would call a dream to a lot of people, you know? You're doing exactly what you want to do. You're passionate about it. You have things to give back to society with what you're doing. Very amazing stuff. Absolutely cool.
You.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. I'll definitely keep throwing your name out there and, you know, doing what I can to support the good people that I like to be able to bring up on my channel and streams and whatnot. And I'd love to maybe even have you in other conversations, especially when I'm talking about retro stuff. Because you just seem like the queen. You seem like the queen right now. Queen of retro, and I'm loving it.
I'd be more than happy to join in any conversation you want me in. I can both discuss modern games and retro games. I mean, I can even throw my direct opinions on some modern stuff like Sonic Origins.
Oh, Lord. Why you gotta go there?
Or Sonic Frontier.
Okay, so what do you think of Sonic Frontier? Because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little hyped to have something that gives me that Sonic Adventure feeling, but now both sticks work. You know, I'm able to look around and stuff like that. But from what I've been hearing from some Sonic fans is, hey, this is really empty looking, not a whole lot looking like it's going on, or the physics don't seem right. I'm hopping up to grind and I'm grinding up a hill when past Sonic games had physics in it to where you jump up and like if it's telling you to go down, you cannot go up.
Right, so I think a lot of people don't understand game development. I'm going to be naive friendly for once, and I'm going to say Sega I feel they showed us a tech demo, so of course not everything is going to be put in there yet. And I hope to God they do fix the physics, as you said, because Sonic seemed a bit sluggish in reaction, which they can still fix. But I find the concept of an open world Sonic really interesting because I played a fan game, which was an open world Sonic, and he nailed it. It was so fun. I actually have it on my computer still. So I think it's really cool that Sega are trying to do new things. I just hope that they pack the world, put more stuff in it, and they don't try to copy other open world games, but they go down their own route. So I'm really excited. So I don't want to say it's crap, because I have not seen the real game. I've only seen somebody playing a tech demo for 6 minutes, and it's not fair to judge a game in very early stages. Of course, you can give your wishes to the developer. That's completely fine. So I can't say by what I saw for 6 minutes, like, or yay. I'm like, all right, interesting.
Right. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I don't know how hyped to be, but I am somewhat hyped because it's like Sonic, new atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's where I'm hyped on. I'm just like, man, give me something, make it memorable, Let's not embarrass our boy Sonic.
And
He's
you know
been through
who's
a lot.
writing the story? You know who's writing the story?
Who's that?
It's the guy from IDW Comics who's making the new Sonic comics. He's the story writer for the game.
Fantastic.
Ian, I think his name is Ian, isn't it? Or
I'm bad. I'm bad with names. You're not going to get me
hold,
to
I need to
remember the
find it.
name.
Give me one moment.
I'm
Ian
one of-
Flynn, that's his name. Ian Flynn. I heard he's the story writer for the game. I'm like, okay, then this is going to be a good story because he writes a bit of more the darker type of stories. I'm like, good. Sonic needs a bit of a darker story. I'm not talking about Edgelord Shadow Dark. I'm like more like an adult setting for Sonic, and we do not discuss '06. That never happened.
Okay. So that's pretty exciting. So that's on the new side of games. Are you currently playing any of the new titles that are out right now, or are you just strictly doing your retro thing? And and do you play a lot when you're not streaming? Do you still
Yes.
game a ton?
Yes, I play on the PlayStation 4. I just finished Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Fantastic
I just
game.
finished that game. I finished that game on normal mode. Not once did I want to put it on easy because I wanted to see how broken it was on normal mode because a lot of people were complaining about the difficulty. And yes, the difficulty was not balanced. It was very unfair at some boss fights, but I managed. And now I'm playing Hollow Knight because there's a lot of hype of Hollow Knight and I want to see what the game is about. So I'm busy with that. And on the PC, I'm playing Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh wow, okay. That's a
'Cause I
pretty
like
fun
blowing-
game.
Oh yeah, it's fun with people. I mean, sometimes me and my friends get together, we're a bit drunk, we're like, we died, hi, you died, oh, I'm dead too.
I like building like just caves.
Yeah.
Just
I
something
like-
about just caving it is fun to me. It reminds me of Red Faction way back in the day.
Oh my god, I'm playing the asshole explorer because I can leave people behind. I love ziplining through everything and like, gotta go fast. Oh, I love him. I love the explorer. He's my favorite class.
Dope. All right, so now let's move into some other questions because I feel like we got through your history nice and well. That was pretty cool to hear. What got you into streaming and everything. That was pretty heartfelt, actually. Really nice. But I want to know, well, I feel like this question doesn't really work for you exactly because
Why?
you constantly relive this stuff.
Yeah.
One of my main questions that I love to ask is if there is a generation that you could go back and relive. Actually, you know what? This will work for you because let's take this like more of a time kind of
Yeah.
like Back to the Future moment. Okay.
Yes.
So you have any time period that you could hop into the car and go back to. What console
90s.
generation is it?
90s.
But specific generation, you can only pick one.
Oh, you're not doing this to me. Okay, the 16-bit generation, because I'm torn between the 16-bit and the 3D beginning generation, but the 16-bit was one like, oh, this is fun. This when I had the most fun as a kid, playing on the Sega Mega Drive, the Super Nintendo, the Saturn. Like, oh my god,
Colors were
Sonic
amazing.
is so cool. I want to relive when I played those games because those moments, they were magical. And I don't get the same moments from modern games anymore. Like, yeah, sure, when I played Breath of the Wild, I was like, oh, this is cool. But after getting used to physics, like, boring. I did this all. But when I was a kid and you got a new game, it was like a new adventure would unfold in front of you. Like, oh my god, Alien Soldier, oh my... Like, all these games, they were just incredible. And because of the limitation of the hardware, the game developers had to get really creative to make good games.
Yeah, and I don't know. Sometimes too much story can take away from gameplay.
Yeah. That's what I like about the old games. You're done, you can play again, you can fuck the game up in debug mode. It's always fun.
Like right now, I'm playing an excellent game. That is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's fantastic, really fun, great fighting, but it feels like every 5 to 10 minutes. I know it's probably just the build up of the story because I'm still kind of early on, but it feels like every like I'll have a fight and a half, and then a cutscene, and it's like cutscene to the point where I'm just like, am I even really playing the game?
Another game had that trouble. Triangle Strategy. I watched my bestie play it, and he was literally stuck in story for 2 hours before he could play the game. And that's just too much. Like, let us play the game. I mean, sure. Or let us choose to skip the story. Thank you.
Oh, that was like a Kojima game right there, you know? Like you got what was it? Or I'm not sure if you ever played this, but like Quantum Break had like a 45-minute.
I haven't played Quantum Break, sadly. No.
I swear, there's like a 45-minute cutscene. I think it's skippable, but it's still it's there. But there's a Metal Gear. There's a Metal Gear. Right. There's a Metal Gear, and maybe Stank Ma or somebody in the chat could like let me know which one. But there's a Metal Gear where it's like the end of the game. There's a cutscene that's like an hour and a half.
What? So it's movie night. It's movie night. The game turned into movie night.
For real. And I'm not sure, like, I don't know. I guess you could just leave it running and walk away or something like that if you're not that into the story. But man, that's a lot to invest in, like, time-wise.
Damn, how much money did they put in the CGI on that thing?
Yeah, I don't know. It had to be a lot of money, though.
Hey guys, let's make a movie and a game. Let's kill two birds with one stone. We don't have the budget. Kicks them out the window.
You know, it's like a way higher crazy game than like FMVs back in the day. Did you ever get big into FMV games?
No, I started playing them this year, and I'm like, what is this shit? I never liked them. I'm like, I have this night trap game. I'm like,
yep.
I'm being a pervert watching women like killing ninjas? What? Or trapping them. I felt so dirty. And I'm a woman myself, watching other women having pillow fights, like, this is wrong. What is this game?
Now, some of them were pretty neat, and they were like movies, right?
Yeah.
But the gameplay on a lot of the FMV games are terrible. A lot of like point and click for these games, and cutscenes where it doesn't feel like there needs to be cutscenes. Like there's this game called Prize Boxer for the Sega CD.
Never heard of that one. Maybe I don't think that one ever came to Europe, to be honest.
You're not missing much. So like literally every time you strike and punch and hit and like make a connection, which is pretty tough to do, believe it or not. But when you make a connection, it goes into a cutscene every single time, where it just shows the guy like moving around, and then he just gets hit, and the cutscene's over. So every time you hit him, there's a cutscene.
I'm reading up on the game right now.
Yeah.
I think it only came. Let's see. Did it come out in Europe? No, I don't think it did. I mean, yes, it did actually. Oh wow! Oh my goodness.
That was probably a pretty low-scoring game.
And it was like £50, which is like $50-$60. Not a cheap game either.
Yikes! Yeah, no. I played that game for like 20 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this anymore. Not good.
Have you tried Philips CDI?
No, I haven't. What's that?
Oh, that's a console, and there's a dreaded Zelda series called Zelda CDI, and there's like these animated. They make the worst Zelda games ever on it because Nintendo got a license to them, and the king. I mean, Link looks so colorful, cheery, and like it was so weird, and he's super annoying, and the king's like, "My boy," all the time. "My boy, you're gonna like, what is this?" And Link, it's like the worst game ever. The game is really horrible. It's non-responsive. It's really lame. It's not like a Zelda game. And it was I think it was The Legend of Zelda Wand of Gamelon, it was called, or something really weird. And Zelda didn't look like Zelda. She looked like some 90s blonde chick. Really weird stuff.
Oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic. It sounds like something I need to run out and buy right now.
Yeah, it's for $2,000 on auction.
Oh my god. You can miss me with that.
The Philips CDI flopped. I mean, people are like, you should get it. I'm like, what should I do? I mean, it looks like an old CD player. That's the thing. But I don't know. I have never seen it myself. But even my husband say, oh yeah, I know the Philips CDI. It looks like something that belongs to the entertainment system. It's actually a gaming console. Like, oh. It's like it was a flop machine.
Is that the one that could go online?
I don't know. I don't think so. Wasn't it the Dreamcast the first one that could go online?
I think, and I thought, but I might, but there might have been something right after or right before it.
I don't know.
I don't really remember.
I just know the horrible Zelda games, and I'm like, I don't want to play this.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's really weird that Philips had the license to do that.
It's because Nintendo and Sony had an ugly divorce, and Nintendo gave the license to Philips, and Philips made the CDI Zelda games. Nintendo's like, fuck this shit, no.
Yeah, it didn't work out very long. Philips got lucky with that whole situation, and then they took a big L with getting that, because PlayStation really, they were working with them from what I thought with like the sound quality or something like that with Nintendo. And then, yeah, they went separate ways, and because I believe they were supposed to make their first like cartridge CD console, like put together, kind of like the Sega Saturn is, essentially, but that just never worked out. So wild stuff happened at that time in gaming, and all of a sudden here came Sony, and they were big.
Yeah, Nintendo weren't very friendly either in the 90s. They were douchebags.
Are they friendly now?
Oh, you asked from YouTuber to YouTuber. Nintendo hates us. Let's just be honest. You're DMCA for playing a Nintendo game. What? Because you're not a Nintendo authorized channel. Yeah, okay.
That's insane.
Nintendo are very protective about their IP. I get it. But they are also like, if you make a fan game for Sega be like, oh, you're cool, let's hire you on. If you do it for Nintendo, speak to our hand and speak to our lawyers. We'll see you left and right.
Right. Yeah. So just kind of getting on, I'm kind of curious so I mean, because you play so much different things. Yeah. So your, library or idea of getting down in games is like just massive. But I want to know if there's something, or if there's some sort of genre that you don't really click with that well.
Sports.
Okay, that was quick and simple.
I mean, football, nah. Golf, nah. I do not like sports games. They should not exist, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh, that's passionate.
Unless it's a funny sports game like an NES game where you hit a football, you can smack everybody down or something like that. But like hardcore, like I love racing games, but I hate sports games. They just don't click with me.
So you do not like simulation sports games at all? You just like arcade sports games where you could beat the hell out of people?
Yeah, I don't like the simulation stuff. I'm sorry. Sorry if I offended anyone. It's just not me.
Just a little bit. My heart hurts just a little bit here and that, because I do love sports games.
New heart. Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. But I can't say that I love sports games right now where they're at. Where they're at right now, it feels like they are a joke, because it's like the same thing every year. And I guess you could say that about some of the old stuff back in the day, but it feels a lot worse now because there's only one, like, Madden, and there's no other football game. NBA 2K22, that's it.
I feel like you have to pay for the celebrities as well. Like, it's a celebrity game kind of thing. Like, we have this football player, and so I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're only good for, like, that year, you know? And then you have to, like, keep up with buying the new one. Like, I feel like if there's any genre that needs to be live service, it's sports games. Because I don't feel like we need a new sports game every year.
Yeah.
Because it's the same, it's usually the same roster. Maybe a couple different people change, but that can be an update.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
But anyway, so that is something that you really don't want to play at all, is sports games. Now, as of the last year, I want you to tell me the 3 best games that you've played. So it doesn't have to be new or whatever, just straight up 3 games that you weren't aware of until this last year, and then you're like, man, these games were really good.
Interpret Easy for Dreamcast, that was a phenomenal game, one of the best platformers I ever played. Quantum Fighter for the NES, phenomenal game. And there was a modern game I played last year, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, Kirby. I love playing Kirby on the Switch. That game was beautifully made. It was so cute.
Yeah, I heard a lot of really good things about that Kirby game. I wanted to get it, but I then thought, how often would I be actually playing my Switch? And I didn't get it.
You should get it. I highly recommend it. It's different and it's cute. It has all these moments that make the game really worth it, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I'll check it out.
And you get a complete game. There's no DLC bullshit with it.
That is a selling point nowadays. That is a very big selling point. That was one of the reasons I bought Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxies, because I was like, well, this is it right here. This is the whole game, and it ended up being fantastic. Like it, and I'll eventually replay it, but as of right now, there is a lot of different stuff that I need to finish and get through.
Yeah, I know. My backlog's screaming at me as well.
Your backlog is never ending. Like, let's get real. You got walls of backlog.
Yes, and I also have digital backlogs, which scream at me every time I put my PC on. Like, you haven't played me in a long time. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, you just turn on your computer and just a bunch of updates happen, and you're just looking at it like, oh,
honey, your internet's not working. I'm sorry. My Steam is downloading all the stuff.
All right, so throughout your history, you played various different games from different studios, publishers, yada yada. What's your favorite publisher or developer, and what game best represents it?
Retro Studios, who made Metroid Prime.
Wow.
They did a phenomenal good job, and I'm looking forward that they're working on Prime 4, because they worked on a different game. Nintendo says, make it into Metroid, and they really, really brought so much depth to that universe with the sound and everything.
Okay. When's the last time you played that?
Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime. Trying to think. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Could be. No, I think I played Metroid Prime 2 maybe 2 or 3 years ago again, if I remember correctly. Like, I will sometimes revisit the games, and I do plan to stream those games as well because I love them. They're phenomenal.
That was GameCube, right?
Yes, the first one is GameCube, so it's the second one. The third one is Wii.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the ones I remember were on the GameCube, first person. That was wild.
They did also a very good job turning a 2D Metroid game into 3D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely different. It was a big deal when it first came out on that GameCube a long time ago. It was massive.
And it was very good looking as well.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty for that time period, that's for sure. Out of curiosity, I'm going to ask you if you ever played one of my favorite games in the past, and it was for the GameCube as well, Eternal Darkness.
Yes! Oh, I love Eternal Darkness!
Yes. It was a really good game, wasn't it?
Oh yes, the reason why I didn't mention Eternal Darkness was because I only had one game, and they were going to make a sequel, but the game producer was a pedophile, so that never happened.
Oh no, I like a pedophiles game.
No, not the people who made the original one. That was Crystal Dynamics who made. They made
Okay.
also Soul Reaver, but there was a new team that was going to make Eternal Darkness 2 called Ancients of the Eternal or something. Can't remember. There was a sequel, and they found child porn on his computer. And that's like, damn it! Of course. And now the IP is back in limbo.
Well, hopefully somebody can pick it up.
I hope so. Eternal Darkness is phenomenal. The best horror game I've ever played because the insanity effects really messed with you. Like, your TV is going down. The GameCube had a blue screen of death. Your save file got deleted. Like, what? And you suddenly losing your head and that stuff. That was a good game.
Yes, there was a lot of things that you thought was going on, and it was like almost like dream sense. And then the part that makes me remember that game the most is when you're like looking around or you enter a room and you're just walking, and then all of a sudden people are starting to follow you.
Yes,
around the
and
room.
Attack you.
Yes, that freaked me out as a kid.
Oh, when you're walking and the walls start to beat and you're like, what?
Yes. Yes.
I love that game. I really hope they'll make a sequel to it or something similar and incorporate modern elements, because that'd be amazing.
Did you ever get into what was that called? Hellblade.
No, I wanted to, but I haven't gotten around yet.
You should totally do that game. If you liked Eternal Darkness, I really think you'll like Hellblade. Because Hellblade...
It's also a very good mental health game, actually.
Right. In this game, like, if you, like, let yourself kind of fall into the game and, like, really understand what's kind of going on, what's up with her, what's, like, the story like, you'll start to, like, naturally, and it's awkward to say, but you'll naturally, like, you'll start to pick up on her anxiety, and it'll start bothering you, too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's the best way I can describe it, is, like, you'll pick up on some of her anxieties and some of the things that are bothering her. And especially if you're listening in like headphones, not just using your TV volume, you're hearing all these like conversations that she's having in her head. And eventually you're almost like, shut up. And she's like, in the game, she's like, shut up. like you're both thinking, just shut up.
Wow.
It's pretty insane though. It's a lot of fun. And the end of the game, if you don't listen properly, I'm not going to ruin anything by saying this, but if you don't realize what's kind of happening, you'll end up working really freaking hard. Like by the like at the end of the game, my hands were destroyed. Like tired. Wow. Like super tired from just busting my ass in that game for like what felt like an hour of just like fighting.
Wow.
And I didn't realize something, but you'll realize it if you beat the game. And it's one of the coolest parts, just because like after I did it, I was like, man, I kind of want to smack myself now. Like it was one of those kind of good feelings where you're like, man, damn it, it got me.
It'll be a good stream game, I think, because then everyone will be like, oh, what's going on?
Right. Yeah. The ambiance, as you know, is pretty nuts too in that game.
Wow. Maybe I'll get some nightmares, but this might be worth it.
It might be. To me, it was. It definitely had some awkward moments, especially with like I said, with the headsets on and hearing all those voices in your own head. You're just like, geez, Louise, stop.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I want to know what new game you're most excited for looking forward.
Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh my God, you're so basic with that answer.
Okay.
Jeez.
What about Bayonetta 3?
Oh my goodness. Okay, fine.
Bayonetta 3, I love Bayonetta because it's like Devil May Cry with angels and demons, basically.
So I liked your first answer. I just love to give people that say Breath of the Wild a hard time because I'm personally not into it. I don't understand the whole love for picking up new weapons all the time after they break. Like,
It has nothing to do with that. The reason why I'm looking forward to the game because it was supposed to be a DLC and it became an expansion. It was supposed to finish the story.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, just put all the weapon system away. That's not what I like. I love it because it's Zelda, and I'm hoping in Breath of the Wild 2 they'll put in back the traditional Zelda stuff, like the dungeons, because I missed them. But Breath of the Wild 2 continues where the first one ends, and it's an open ending basically. So.
Okay. So you're looking forward to most of it just to complete your story, complete your journey.
Yes.
Into it. Yeah, the weapon system tore me away from that game.
I'm not going to be very honest. Yeah, not probably going to get all the Zelda community hating on me, but Breath of the Wild 1 is not the best Zelda game out there. The game is very bland. The world is really empty, and they removed things that made Zelda great. I'm just going to be honest right there.
Man, you laid it on the line right there.
But I love the story. Oh, okay, there was no story. But I love the journey the game had to make you survive. Like, if you didn't understand the game, it would beat you up, and I like that. But we were teased about that Link and Zelda are going to be together, and you're kind of like, okay, are they going to rebuild Hyrule in the end? Are we finally going to meet Ganon finally? Yes, you are. So that's what I'm looking forward to. It's purely because of the story elements. Not because more swords breaking or another breathtaking open world to explore. I don't really care about the open world mechanism, to be honest. I just want the story.
I love how honest that you're being right now. You're just laying it all out there. No fucks given at all. Just telling how it is. Yeah, so that makes sense to me more because I don't know. Like for me, I really like when this Breath of the Wild was big, I was playing Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
And I loved that game. I'm sorry, but I loved that game. The story was okay. See, I feel like we're opposites on that end because story was okay and I was fine with it. You're playing Breath of the Wild for the story, which is incredible for you, right? Yeah. But I was playing it strictly for gameplay. I was not playing it for the story. So I was not enjoying myself.
No, exactly. I understand that very well. I mean, as I said, the first few hours in Breath of the Wild for gameplay is really fun, but then it drains you.
Right. It sure did.
And then it's also everything is in repeat again. Like, okay, I've done this already. I've done this. This is getting repetitive now. There's no new abilities. Yes, you can upgrade the Master Sword if you do the Master Sword Trials, which I did. And your sword still breaks. So what's the fucking point? It's not the epic sword you know from the other game. That pissed me off. And I hated the Blood Moon. I'm like, what? I can never purify Hyrule because enemies just keep on coming again. What is this? This is annoying.
She just wants to finish that story and get out of there. All right, well, now I'm kind of curious, as we know what's exciting for the future for you, but if you were to go back and take two games and bring them up to today's standards, what would those two games be? And I'm really interested in what you got to say because you play so many just games that are obscure now.
Yeah, I'm just going to say another game I'm looking forward to is Metroid Prime 4 because I loved everything about Metroid Prime.
Oh, she squeezed that in there real quick. Keep going in.
Yes. But all right. Two games I would love to see. I would love them to see a true version of Alien Soldier. Do you know Alien Soldier?
That sounds familiar, but I can't recollect it off the top of my head. Give me a pitch.
One of the hardest games on the Mega Drive, Genesis. It never came out in America. It did on the Sega satellite thingy, which I don't know what that is. And it's basically a boss rush. It's very unforgiving, and if you're dead, you lose all your upgrades and everything. Back to the beginning you go, if you play it on hard mode.
Ooh.
And the thing is, the game we got was only 25% of the game because Nami, which is the programmer, he could not finish it in time. So the story was scrapped from the game. And I see in the deleted scenes, like, oh, the game is even epic. There was supposed to be 100 bosses. It's like a high octane boss rush, and one boss was supposed to have 100 animated limbs on it. Like, they were really tearing the Genesis apart for making that game possible. It was amazing. It's very fast-paced, unforgiving. So I would love to see the director's cut with all the content for that game, just to see how it is.
The director's cut. That's a tough word nowadays.
Yes.
All right, and then yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care which word you use. Sometimes I feel like people are a little too soft with words nowadays. So please just use whatever you want to use and just stand by what you mean. And if
I think director's cut would be amazing. Put everything that was taken out of the game, please, because I want to play the real game, not the tech demo we were given.
There you go. So I'm also curious what the second game would be.
I was still thinking about that one. You know what? I wish that Rise Star got more love. That is a phenomenal game made by Sonic Team. And they made one game and one for the Game Gear, that's it. Never to be seen again. It was a solid platform. It had the story and everything. They could make sequels. No, they didn't.
Was that the one where he does like all these like backflips through things and
like he holds onto his star, becomes a comet, and can penetrate through enemies, and the graphics were really beautiful in that game.
Yeah, I remember I have a buddy Twan that's on another channel that I do podcasting on, and he is Sega nut, and he loves Sonic Team flat out. So he always is telling me about all these other games that I don't really know about, but he's there to tell me about them, and it's really interesting.
And as a bonus, I have a third game for you.
Okay, hit me with it.
Bring back Phantasy Star 4 and make it modern. And not Phantasy Star Online. That game is shit. The real old Phantasy Star RPG series, because that was amazing. Told you, I'm brutally honest.
I love how unapologetic you are. It's just you just hit it. You just don't give a damn. All right, so now we're getting to like the last few questions. Really, great pacing. What frustrates you within gaming? Like, if there's anything at all, and you can take this at whatever angle you want. What frustrates you about gaming?
Point one, I hated that today in 2022 that everything's like, oh, this is like Dark Souls, this is Dark Souls, it's hard like Dark Souls. I'm like, really? You haven't been in the retro era where games are really unforgiving? I'm sorry, Dark Souls has checkpoints. It lets you, it's very forgiving compared to the other games. I hate that every game has to be compared to a different game. It pisses me off. No, it's not Dark Souls. This is Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is not Dark Souls. It's an action, adventure, hack and slash game. I hated that we have to identify newer games with a very famous franchise, and sometimes I find the hype is not deserved because it was taking the idea from the retro era. That kind of ticks me off a bit. Two, I would say the gaming community is super toxic. Like, if you go, let's say you're a new person, Sonic fandom, you ask the question, no, you piece of shit, we're gonna destroy you because you should have known better. Like, yikes! Fortnite's like that, League of Legends. The Sonic community is bloody horrible. I even heard other indie game communities are really dreadful. So there you go. Those are two things I hate about gaming.
Damn, that was fast. That was a 1-2 punch right there. Just let me know how it is. So on the flip side of all of that wildness, do you happen to have a dream come true for you within gaming?
Well, as I said, if I could meet the developers of my favorite games, that'd be a dream come true. I think my jaw would hit the floor and I wouldn't know what to do.
You think they're still alive? No, I'm just...
Well, if not, I'm going to speak to the undead. That's fine.
No, but what games are we talking about? Like, what's some of the... Who are some of the folks that you would like to meet?
I would love to meet Nami, who made Alien Soldier. I really want to sit down with him and say, dude, can you please tell me how the full game was going to play out? Because I know your game is fragmented. I need to know what really happens. Telling me the content you couldn't make in time. And please remake the game. Finish it. Now you got the technology. No more excuses. I would also actually sit with Miyamoto, but I heard Miyamoto is a very, very, very stubborn man, and he probably would tell me to piss off before I could talk with him. And I would just love to meet Sega because, well, Yuji Naka sadly left. He was the creator of Sonic. But I would really just love to talk about how they make the games and stuff. And it would just be a dream come true for me to meet them because it was my childhood.
You know, and Sonic games are probably one of, if not the most versatile game series of all times. Just the different ways that they've made that game, so many different freaking ways. Side scroller, 3D kind of like bird's eye view, and then like third person. They've even done like, you know, Sonic with a gun kind of games.
Oh god, Shadow the Hedgehog, yes.
So like they've just done so many different random things with Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Shadow, that like it's just really interesting to see something last that long and be made in so many different ways and still have a future. Because mostly when games start to veer off like that, their days are numbered. You know what I mean?
Bobsy 3D.
That was a slight right there that you just wanted to throw in. Gotcha.
You know Bobsy?
Mm-mm.
They tried everything. It was a horrible 2D platform. They made it 3D. I played that for my anniversary. It felt like I was playing a prototype. It was so bad. That's why I said Bobsy 3D, because you mentioned going in different directions. Bobsy died that way, actually. And a lot of good IPs, you don't see them anymore. Like Donkey Kong, you had Donkey Kong in 2D and 3D, a collectathon, which was amazing. Now it's just back to 2D thanks to Retro Studios. But you don't really see much of Donkey Kong anymore either. And it used to be a racing game. It's sad.
Oh, Diddy Kong Racing?
Yeah, I love Diddy Kong Racing.
That's still my favorite kart racer. That one and Speed Punks for PlayStation are two of my favorite kart racers.
I might have actually played Speed Punks. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think it was also called something else, in a different part of the world as well. I don't know, maybe. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, look that up if you got a second.
Speed? Oh yeah, that one. It's called Speed Freaks here.
Okay, so it's called Speed Freaks there, and it's called Speed Punks here, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Nailed it. All right, sweet. So, what do you like? What do you like to do outside of gaming when you're not, streaming and all that stuff? What do you enjoy doing?
I love book writing. I love drawing. I actually like to be in nature a lot because it calms me down. I like to listen to heavy metal and that kind of music. And I do hit the gym to keep myself in shape. Not because I'm a gym freak, but I need to stay healthy because of my autoimmune disease. So I'm very creative. I have to be creative all the time. If not, my brain kind of implodes on itself.
Okay. That makes sense. And then go ahead.
I also love going out for cocktails and food because I love tasting all kinds of different fruit and learning about different cultures. I'm always I love traveling to learn about different cultures in other countries, how people used to live.
Would you eat a tarantula?
No. I love tarantulas as pets. I wouldn't eat them. I held one. They're cool. I mean, why would I eat one?
I don't know. I know in certain places they eat tarantulas, and what was it? I think it was maybe it was Vietnamese or Taiwan or something like that. I don't know. But they also eat like what was it, like rats or mice?
Oh yeah, China eats absolutely everything, even the foster of the egg. They eat everything.
So would you try some of them foods?
The thing is also because of my illness, I have certain allergies, and that actually automatically eliminates me from certain food groups. I have to be very careful, which sucks because I love food.
You know,
And
in a way, it's kind of keeping you from eating some of these nasty ass things that I'm talking about right now. You're like, thank goodness for this issue.
I'm also a huge fan of science. I love science. I love biology. I love reading up on stuff. You know, something that makes us wiser. So, I mean, it's very hard to say what interests are because it's so broad. Like, I love astrophysics, and I sometimes also dive into quantum mechanics just for fun to try to understand how the universe is put together. It's hardcore stuff, though.
Yeah, I mean, that does sound like some hardcore stuff. I tell you that much. But so we're coming up to the end of the show, and I like to ask everybody if you have any questions for me. One question that I've been asked 8 million times on different episodes is how I became a creator and what got me into gaming. So do you have any other questions?
Yes. How is it for you to be on YouTube as a streamer?
So like as like not this show, but just streaming. Like my gameplay.
Now you're streaming the podcast on a live audience.
Right.
And YouTube is a very different organ than Twitch is. So I wonder how is it to be on you? Because I'm not allowed to stream on YouTube because of my partnership on Twitch. So I'm just curious, how is it?
Well, from where I stand, it is really easy.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had any real issues with anything connectivity wise. It's pretty easy to, you know, keep up with my chat and I personally like the way that it works with my OBS.
Yeah.
Like just like the interface with YouTube with the interface with OBS, I feel like they mesh together fantastic. As for getting people to watch your stuff, I feel like that's a little difficult maybe sometimes. Just kind of being able to get out there and get your, I don't know, get traffic. I feel like you have to get established to even get more people to check it out or something like that.
Yeah, and it's also search engine optimization, science, thumbnails and stuff that I know.
Right. So like so thumbnails are super duper important.
Yeah.
Tags are super duper important and like writing out your description a certain way and using the like when you go into like let's say that you're posting or uploading a video, like making sure that you use like the timestamps for like putting on little like things to click on for people to go and see a new video and stuff like that. I mean, Hustle and Motivate in the chat says YouTube is kind of bad for live streaming. That's his personal opinion on that. I feel like it's easy and nice, but as for like attracting an audience, it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to attract an audience on Twitch at all. Because the one thing that I notice is a lot of the people that I see on YouTube will have a Twitch stream going on at the same time, but like nobody's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's at the Twitch thing. Everyone's on YouTube and the conversation's happening there. So I'm a little confused and I don't know, like, because I don't feel like I have that kind of clout to really give you a 100% honest take of what it really is like, because I don't have those statistics.
Well, Twitch is really hard because the bigger you are, the more the platform's gonna recommend you. That's their logic, because they don't have discoverability on Twitch. That's been the number one complaint. It's because Amazon don't really earn money on the small streamers, so they don't care about you. I'm sorry to say. They say they do, but the truth is they don't.
Yeah, so I don't even know which one is better? What do you see? Because you're at, like, you're affiliated, you have a contract, and
Yeah.
just like, yeah, like I have another buddy named Too Big. He has like a contract as well, and he cannot dual stream. He has to only use Twitch when
Yeah,
he
that's
does his
correct.
streams.
Same here. So I'm going to be honest, Twitch is going down the hill, and I've seen a lot of people jump ship from Twitch to YouTube. But I don't know if it's just like a hype bubble going on or people are fearing the worst. I mean, Twitch have done a lot of questionable stuff with their platform of late. They're even cutting in the revenue the creators are earning, which is a big pisser if that is your number one getting food on the table. And then it's like, wow, thank you, Twitch. Thanks to you, we just earn 50% less now.
Wow, that's a big hit.
Yeah.
So are you like do you have like a timed contract with them?
Oh no, the contract you're talking about only the top 100 partners get.
Okay.
I just have the regular Twitch part. I'm not even allowed to really talk about it, which is weird because they don't pay me monthly. I get the sub revenue and everything like every other person does. So I think it's bullshit that Twitch is holding all the partners like hostages on their platform if we don't even get the special contract.
Hmm.
So it's forever,
that's scummy.
basically, unless they decide to change it.
So are you looking to like make a move at some point, or are you like comfortable with where you're at?
I'm more like, I'm always keeping my horizons open for business decisions. Like, it's very stupid to stay on one platform. You should always branch out as much as you can. So if Twitch goes down, I still have a future because I'm on YouTube. So I can always, if Twitch does decide to get bought or something or sold out, I'll be okay because I still have my brand on YouTube or other platforms. So I'm never thinking I'm going to stay on one platform forever because I don't think that's a good business choice to do.
Okay. That's true. That's very true. I like those words. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist of that. Do you have any other questions?
How many consoles do you have?
Oh, man.
I see a Dreamcast. I see an Xbox 360. I see the PlayStation 5.
I have, let's see, there's 5 right there. I know there's 9 over there. So, I mean, that's 14, and then a couple Switches, so 16. I have about 18 or 19 different consoles.
That's awesome.
But 2 Switches. That's the only copy of. Actually, no. I have an Xbox One VCR edition, and then I have
wow.
you know what I mean though, like the big black one.
Yeah.
And then that didn't sound right. But anyways, and then I have a One X as well upstairs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have a couple copies of consoles, but I think it's only the Xbox One and the Switch that I have copies of.
Okay.
Everything else is like one console of that. But yeah, my most prized. Oh yeah, I forgot about the 3DO. So I got about 19 or 20.
Wow, the 3DO even. That's amazing. That's a rare console.
Yeah, it's the Gold Star one though. I wish it was the Panasonic.
Oh, I
top
see.
loader.
It's still cool that you have it.
Yeah, it still works. It still, runs all the 3DO games and whatnot. It's just, I really wanted a top loader because I don't like having the what would you call it? The mechanism, the motorized mechanisms to pop in and out. I always worry about those things because I've had stuff like that break in the past.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And they're not cheap to fix if you don't know how to fix it yourself.
Right. So like my 3DO that I have, I could lean it forward, like tilt it forward, and the tray will start to kind of leak out.
Oh, okay.
That's not cool.
No, that's bullshit right there.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
I need to know what is your favorite gaming IP or type of game? Like, I love platformers, action adventure games, or fast-paced games. What do you like to play?
As of lately, I've been playing the hell out of RPGs. Mostly like Western RPGs. I've also been liking some JRPGs as well. Very few though. I don't really usually dip too hard in those, but all around my favorite one, the one that I mesh with the best, would probably be action adventure.
Yes.
Action adventure games are probably just like each time it feels like every time I really get into RPGs or sports or anything else, action adventure pulls me in way harder. Like after I leave it for a little while, when I come back, I get sucked in really hard.
Yeah, I agree.
One game that's a action adventure that I just used the stupidest amount of time on was Ark Survival Evolved.
Right, yeah, I heard about that game.
I played probably around 125 days of that game.
Wow.
So nearing 3,000 hours on that game. And I loved it. Obviously. Played it every day for hours every day. Sometimes wouldn't even go to sleep. Like would play it like 12, 13, 14 hours straight. This was before I had a kid.
Yeah. Oh,
when I could do that.
If you become a parent, that's it. Bye gaming. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
well, I mean, it's kind of true though, because ever since I had my daughter, like the amount of time that I put to the game was like exponentially cut.
Yeah.
And then I went on a vacation, and you only had like 8 days to keep your base before it's up for grabs. And I was gone on vacation for 8 days. So when I came back, 2 years of work was gone.
No. Oh, that hurts.
Oh yeah, that hurt so bad that I was pretty much done with it. I quit playing that game for a whole year because I was so mad. I was so angry because I literally came back, turned on the game, and this was like within like, because like I said, it's 8 days long. And I came back within like an hour or two of my base being up for grabs.
No!
So I'm literally seeing people fly off with my stuff.
That's like that's like fuck you for having a life.
Right, exactly. And of course I said something in the chat like everybody can see what I'm saying, and nobody wanted to speak on it. Well, I didn't see anything, or I wasn't there, and it's like, all right, well, I'm done with this server now. I'm out of here. But yeah, fantastic. The last thing I'm gonna have you do before we get out of here is this: I want you to describe gaming to me, only using 3 words. So describe gaming in 3 words.
Fun, challenging, relaxing.
Hit that right on the head. I really want to thank you for coming out, Game Mistress. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your positivity. I really appreciate your just realness and raw thought process, and you just spit out whatever you got to say. You don't hold it in and beat around the bush. Like, you're there, and you just let it be known, let it be heard, and keep it moving. I love that kind of attitude. Keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep supporting, the folks within the community. Whether, you're doing it for, your animal cause, or, helping people get more into being able to game with the whole, what was it called? The accessibility kind of stuff that you were doing. So definitely keep pushing on that stuff. But it was a pleasure having you on here today. Please, before we get out of here, let people know, especially since we have some more different viewers that are here, let people know where they can find you,
Okay.
where they could possibly game with you and check you out on your streams and stuff.
Right, so I'm very active on Twitter as Game Mistress on Twitter. I even answer my DMs, so don't be shy to send me a DM. Just don't send me dick pics, please, because they're boring. You can find me on Twitch. I stream retro minimal 3 times a week. I will sometimes even play modern games, but as I said, it's mostly retro focused. You can also find me on YouTube on the Game Mistress, where I somehow managed to piss off the Sonic community, and I'm so proud of myself I did that. I wasn't even trying to.
That's the times where you piss off people the most, is when you don't try.
That's true. If you want to support me and you don't want to give Twitch any money, which I don't blame you, who does, you can support me on Coffee. You can even just follow me there, because I upload pictures of my cats. I do all kinds of stuff there. I'm also on Instagram. But yes, so to summarize it short, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Coffee, and Discord. I have my own Discord. If you guys want to know, it's actually on my About page on Twitch.
Okay. So just Game Mistress everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. I have made sure that
Nice.
that name is my name.
That's perfect. Easy to find. And I'm guessing you have pretty much like either the same profile picture or like animated photo.
Yeah,
everywhere,
with,
so
with me and my cat. Yeah, that's the main. That's the need. That's my brand thing. Yes.
I feel that. Well, once again, thank you so much for being on. It looks like we already got a couple people in the chat that said they were gonna check you out or whatnot, so that's really nice.
Aw, thank you very much, guys.
Absolutely. You please feel free to come on and be on a different show. Like I said, I may hit you up in the future just to be on some other things to talk about.
Yeah, sure thing.
I would really enjoy getting you and my buddy Twan on the same show to talk about Sonic and stuff like that. So maybe as we get closer to the Sonic release of like Frontiers or something like that, maybe I'll invite you onto that show so you and Twan can kind of go at it and talk about your guys' history.
That'd be great. Will you
with
do
Sonic.
one for Sonic Origins as well, or are people fed up with the game so much that no one gives a damn anymore?
No. If I know Twan, he could just you say the word Sonic, whether it's in a good light or a bad light. It's hard to shut him up. He will just keep going. The boy loves Sega and Sonic and all that stuff. So like getting him to stop talking is the issue after you bring it up. But he's a great dude. Really cool dude, Canadian brother that I recruited onto a different show. So, yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. That sounds great.
Fantastic. Well, anyways, you guys out in the chat and just viewing, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button if you appreciate and would like to see more of this type of content. Make sure you do that. There's also the bell that you can hit in case you want to be notified anytime that I go live. But thanks everybody for watching. And remember, keep it gaming or keep it moving. Have a good night, everybody. See you later.
Bye.
Welcome
That was
to
awesome.
the Prime M6 podcast, brought to you by TSWS Gaming.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. Come on. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you, if you quit playing. Won't you take a chance?